Here's what's moving today across AI, the markets, and geopolitics. We give you the headline first, then the full breakdown on each. From Rewrite, here are today's highlights. Google's threat intelligence group identified a Chinese cyber espionage group called UNC6508 targeting medical, military, and AI research facilities, ACR. Mistral plans to use capital investment to build European AI infrastructure in compliance with EU regulations. Here's the full picture. Google's threat intelligence group identified a Chinese cyber espionage group called UNC6508 targeting medical, military, and AI research facilities across North America since early 2025. Hospitals, defense contractors, and AI labs have been compromised. The group is conducting sustained espionage operations against critical infrastructure sectors spanning healthcare, defense, and emerging artificial intelligence research networks. This matters because UNC 6508 is systematically harvesting intelligence from the exact nexus where North American defense innovation meets healthcare advancement and AI development. A CFO is currently leading an AI initiative involving collaboration between healthcare, defense contractors, and Indian IT firms operating in North America, precisely the supply chain UNC 6508 is targeting. The vulnerability here is structural. Distributed teams, cross-border data flows, and integrated systems create multiple entry points for state-sponsored intrusion. The transmission chain runs damage to local economic loss first, then reconstruction upside later. The base scenario contains intrusions to isolated systems with hardened defense posture and limited operational impact. The tail scenario weaponizes stolen defense and healthcare data, triggering critical infrastructure failure and regulatory decoupling of North American tech from global supply chains. From June 14 through June 17, North America's dependencies on Fable and Mythos systems coincided with the CFO's AI initiative reaction and Indian IT co-occurrence, now overlapping with Canadian involvement in AI-fueled India partnerships. Watch whether the next phase consolidates these vectors or fragments them. Mistral plans to use capital investment to build European AI infrastructure in compliance with EU regulations. The company is positioning itself as a key player in Europe's independent AI sector, directly challenging OpenAI's dominance. This capital deployment targets compute demand, semiconductor supply chains, data center power requirements, and energy infrastructure across the continent. Here's what matters. Mistral is attempting to solve Europe's strategic AI dependency problem by building compliant infrastructure from the ground up. But there's a structural tension at work. The EU AI Act is already live and actively constraining frontier model development. Yet Mistral's entire value proposition depends on that same regulatory framework legitimizing European alternatives. European financial institutions are being positioned as customers, but the real question is whether governance layers will exist to actually deploy these systems within 18 months when Mistral's board updates them on model readiness. The transmission chain runs from model release through compute demand into semiconductors, data center power, and energy consumption. Winners include the European AI sector and financial institutions gaining a compliant supplier. But Mistral itself faces a regulatory bind. The EU AI Act simultaneously enables and constrains it. The base scenario sees steady growth with sector fragmentation. The tail scenario escalates into enforcement that could force acquisition or existential restructuring. Europe's AI independence hinges on whether regulatory protection can outpace regulatory collision. Watch whether Mistral's infrastructure survives its first regulatory audit. Want to go deeper? The neural web shows you who's connected to whom. The signal board ranks what's actually moving and why. And the daily briefing is your 5-minute read. It's all live. Start at rewrite.io.